Today I'll be showing you how to change the oil on a 2018 Ford Focus with the 1-liter EcoBoost engine. You'll need something to catch the oil, such as a drain pan. You're going to need 4.5 quarts of 5W20 oil, preferably synthetic, a filter, a T30 Torx bit, a ratchet, a 13-inch socket or a dog bone wrench, oil filter cap, or another 3-claw to take the filter off the vehicle. So we start off by driving the vehicle onto ramps or jacking up the front end. The first thing we have to take off of the car is this skid plate. It's attached by a bunch of T30 Torx screws all the way around it. Then we pull the skid plate off and push it out of the way. Alright, so at the rear of the engine, you can see the exhaust right here. This is our engine block with our oil drain plug. And the oil filter is right here above the axle. Be careful if you just drove your car. This is going to be very, very hot, especially with the turbocharged engine. So I would wait at least 5 to 10 minutes after you drive the vehicle up onto the ramps to get in here. So we're going to open up our drain pan. Line it up. And then using a 13mm socket, this one's on my dog bone tool, we're just going to break the drain plug loose and then untighten it with your finger. You're probably going to have to wait a couple minutes for all the oil to drain out of the pan, especially if it's not too hot of an engine. Get your plug and just hand tighten it into place so we can get this oil filter off because it's above it. You don't want that dripping down your armpit. It's not fun. So in a nice uncomfortable position under the vehicle, we got our oil filter cap on a ratchet. Nice glove. We slid our oil pan over a bit so we can try to catch everything. We're going to throw this up over the filter. Here's a good angle for you guys right there. And then you just slowly turn it so you get some oil coming out and keep loosening. And you should get a line of oil right there. Let it drip. You can slowly keep loosening it, just be wary of this oil, it's going to keep coming. So just give it a moment to drip every few turns. There you go. Once it's loose, you can get your ratchet and your cap out of the way. And when it gets just streamy like, go ahead and stick your arm up here and twist that bad boy off. And point it up. Just like this. Pull it out so it's pointing up. Flip it over in your drain pan. Don't make a mess. Alright, so I got my new filter prepped. I like to write the date and the mileage and just the type of oil I put in it for reference. I do switch it up sometimes just to test different things. So you're going to open up a quart of our oil. On a primer oil filter, take your quart and pour a little bit in there. Make sure you lubricate the gasket with your finger. Get a little clean oil on there. So with a little bit of paper towel up here, we're just going to clean off what did get on the frame and the axle and the pan. Just wipe it down. We'll take some brake cleaner to it at the end. And then on the filter housing that it sits on, oh, it's a nice angle. We just want to wipe that all off very well. There you go. Nice and clean. Then we take our filter that we primed. We're gonna send it above the axle. And slowly screw it back on. It's okay if you lose some oil, it's kind of expected. You just want to make sure you have some in there so you don't get dry starts. It's when you start the engine without any oil in the filter. That's not a good thing. Alright, so on top of the engine, we've got our dipstick here to check the oil level. Oil filter cap. Make sure you check this. SAE 5W20, that's the weight of oil you want to use. With a turbo, you really also want to use synthetic. Something like the modern engine oil that I've been using. Keeps all the carbon deposits outside of the engine, especially if this is your daily. Alright, so take a clean funnel, stick it in there. Never stays, so you have to hold it. And we're going to put in 4.3 US quarts of this 5W20 modern engine oil. So the quart that I started with, that I put in the oil filter, start with the open one. Pour it in slowly, don't make a mess. This stuff is expensive. There you go. I'll see you 4 quarts later. Alright, so we've got 4 quarts in the car. For our last third of a quart, I like to take an empty bottle and fill it up right about there to the third of a quart. And we're going to go ahead and pour this right in there. So once we have 4 and an entire third, 4 1/3 quarts of oil in the vehicle, you can go ahead and take your funnel out. Or it'll, just magically blow out from the wind. Toss that somewhere. Take your cap. Put it back on. And then we're going to check out this dipstick. So we pull our dipstick out and wipe it out with a piece of paper towel. Then the second dip is what we want to look at. There you go. So the oil is right there at that second hatch mark, right where it needs to be. When you wipe it, it's nice and gold and clean. No dirty oil. So we're just going to put this shield underneath, back on with those torx bits. I showed you guys how to take it off. I won't show you how to take it back on. We're going to get cleaned up, and that's all for today, guys.